I witnessed something both cool and really horrifying. Both kind of in, well, the cool thing happened. Well, there was a lot of cool stuff that happened tonight, and then there was like one really scary thing that happened in the main that who is really scary. Also, I wore my Royal Rumble hat uh, tonight for the show. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Daniel Strong from QuickTime Reactions, and I just got out of my first ever Wrestling Revolver show. The show was called Unreal, and yeah, it definitely lived up to that billing for sure. Like I said, this is my first ever Wrestling Revolver show, and I gotta say, this is such a fun company. I had the fortunate honor and distinction to meet the owner of this promotion, Sammy Callahan, with a couple of the Wrestling Revolver guys up in Indianapolis during Rumble weekend, and they were just all lovely guys. And after tonight, they have a really good company on their hands. Like, this is such a really good product. Now, I'm not gonna go blow to blow with like the matches that happen on the show. I might talk like a little bit about like who I've seen and um, all that stuff, but overall, it was a really good show. It opened up with a title match. I couldn't necessarily um, uh, comprehend because like we were in a uh, building that does not have the best uh, control when it comes to sound. Like, there's metal everywhere, so it's reverberating everywhere. So couldn't pick up necessarily what the ring announcer was saying for a fair portion of it. But we started with the title match, Jake Christ versus Alan Angels. And this match was really good. I think Jake Christ I might have seen wrestle in. I went to a show called Warrior Wrestling 20, and I think Jake Christ was on that show. I think. Um, but yeah, really good match between these two. Chris ended up retaining his title. There was a tag title match between the champs, Alpha Sigma, Bang and Matthews, who, if my memory serves me correctly, I believe they've worked in Deadlock Pro Wrestling, I think. Um, and then Latinos Most Wanted. Really good tag triple threat match. I really enjoyed it. It was so much fun. And just a lot of good back and forth action between everybody. Lots of good like double team stuff from everybody. And Alpha Sigma, or Alpha Sig, I should say, retain their tag titles. We had a street fight between Matthew Justice and Cruel. This is not my first time seeing Cruel. I went to a Deadlock Pro Wrestling double shot weekend with DPW versus Elevation Pro, and then I believe the show after that was No Pressure. That was kind of like my graduation gift. When I graduated from college, I convinced my dad to go down to North Carolina for the show. And Cruel was in one of the pre-show matches, which ended up being filmed for Spark. So it's not my first time seeing Cruel. And of course, I watched his hardcore match with Colby Carino that DPW posted on their YouTube channel. So this was my first time seeing him live, and of course, you know, both of them brawl everywhere into the crowd, use all sorts of old gaming stuff because it was sponsored by like a retro game store that's um, local to the area. Um, all sorts of like NES cartridges everywhere, a whole bunch of doors broken, which I have another door, half a broken door, to take home with, and I got Matthew Justice and Cruel to sign that door, so yay me. Um, but yeah, Cruel ended up winning with a double choke bomb through a plastic table, which did not break. When he pulled out, when I think it was Justice who pulled out that plastic table, I'm like, there is absolutely no way that he's going to break that at all. The legs broke on it, but the table itself did not break. Um, there was a scramble match after intermission that featured Rachel Armstrong. I got to see her perform at the GCW show that I went to over Rumble weekend. She took on Shane Mercer, and bless her, she took a beating in that match with Shane Mercer. Um, there were a couple of other people in that, and I didn't pick up the guy's name who won it, but his nickname was the People's Babushka, which I think is an absolutely awesome nickname for a wrestler. That's mwah, chef's kiss, beautiful. Um, I got to see Brandon Does Everything, BDE. I got to see him wrestle. He went up against Damian Chambers. He had a pretty good match. Seeing him for the first time live, I'm like, he's put in the work. Like I know that he had become a wrestler, and I think his first match was against AJ Francis, if I remember correctly. But seeing him live, it's like, yeah, he's put in the work, and he did stuff that I did not expect him to do in that match. Like, he did a springboard neck breaker, and I'm like, holy moly, that's awesome. Um, and it was absolutely awesome to see him wrestle live. Unfortunately, he did not pick up the win in his match. Chambers won the match. There was a women's match before the intermission. It was Katie Arquette versus Havoc, and it was my first time seeing Havoc live. I'd seen her like in a couple clips on YouTube, but I hadn't actually seen her live, and it was cool to see her live, and she ended up picking up the win in her match against Arquette, which was also really, really good. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about was the main event. Myron Reed versus Dante Leone for the world title. Everything was going like really, really good. Both of them having like a really good match between the two of them. That is until Myron goes for his cutter, his like cutter where he leaps over the ropes and does a cutter to the guy on the outside. I'd seen him do this before because I think he was also on that Warrior Wrestling 20 show that I went to. But Dante ends up getting out of the way. He leaps over the top rope. His manager, Killer Kelly, is there to catch him and kind of like break his fall. But he still hits that ground hard, like really, really hard. And as a smart fan, I'm like, okay, like, hold on. Like, they're probably like, they're working me here. I'm like, hold on a second. And then when I saw the ref throw up the X, I'm like, oh shit. And then they had everyone like clear out of the way so that they can get Myron out of the building. And as I was leaving, an ambulance pulled up, and I'm hoping that Myron Reed is all right, and hopefully he makes a speedy recovery. Hopefully it was just a concussion. Hopefully. But yeah, that was a very scary way to end the show, but also a kind of cool. Like, I've never had that experience watching a show live where, I see someone get injured in real time. Like, that was a first for me. And that's, like I said, kind of cool, but also kind of scary at the same time. But I'm hopefully hoping that Myron Reed makes a nice, speedy recovery and gets back to doing what he's doing. But yeah, overall, Wrestling Revolver, Unreal. It was a really, really good show. Lots of cool moments, and then of course, the sad what happened in the main event. But got to do what you got to do sometimes. Be on the lookout for some of the entrances that I recorded during the show. Be sure to look out for those on my YouTube channel as well. But it is late and I've got a decent trek back home, so I got to get going like right now. But in the meantime, guys, be safe out there. Protect yourself. If you are a wrestler, protect yourself when you go inside that ring. And I'll see you next time.